I don't know which school the Prime Minister used to go, But obviously, him never did listen to the teacher them. Him never did take language where you can say, the meaning of words. Because I hear the Prime Minister make a statement, that me have to look upon him totally different. Yes. Me look upon the Prime Minister totally different after me hear what him say.
This is another A Journey African exclusive. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
Good day. This is the Stepping Razor. The art of war with you. Raining, lightning and thunder. Which part I there? I don't know where I go on with you there. But it's kind of rainy outside. This is the Stepping Razor. We're there with you again. We have enough things to go through here. So much things are happening in Jamaica. May I tell you, man. Jamaica busy. I'm more side negative, Yes, well, I don't even know if it's a negative or a positive, because positive turn negative. But enough things are going. Enough things are going. You understand?
From you serve God right and do His will.
Yeah, them talk there. From you serve God right and do His will. No gunman can't shot you. Well, I don't know what Jesus will do because them kill him. Those are gun, them would have really shot him, but they put him on a cross. Anyway, another story that. We're there with you, We're there with you. As we have said, there's so much things happening as we speak here. As we speak, the People's National Party is having a protest. The People's National Party is having a protest against the People's National Party. You want to laugh? Laugh, man. The People's National Party is having a protest against the People's National Party. That is really something else. Really something else. They want to get rid of the leader of the party. Them trying to, this part of the party saying them can't work with the leader of the party right now, so them really want him go. Enough things, Can you imagine that? Enough things. Meanwhile, we say them have a poll, and them take a poll where them say, where them call it the Dan Anderson poll. The Dan Anderson poll I show say everything gone down as it relates to popularity, as it relates to the amount of supporters and everything. All the two parts of them, all of them gone down. But the most interesting one is the Prime Minister's one. Last year, even though it never big, but him did get it as the number one person. This year, the polls are show say in popularity gone down. Like not gone down 1%, 2%, Gone from almost the same amount when they gone down last year. Put on top of the last year one, it gone down. So I don't know. I mean, I know still. Because I could have tell, about a month and a half ago, and I tell them, I tell them, say, go up on the road and check the pulse of the people them and see if the people them still in tune with this Prime Minister here. Because the amount of things what is said on the street and even on them social media thing, it is mind-boggling. And it might make it worse. And we're going to play some other and come back and show you, say, it might make it worse. Stepping Razor. The voice of the artist crying out. So, I want to bring up this thing here. I'm so much. All right. You see, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and the leader for the Ministry of Health, them named Tufton, I think they should have go spend a holiday in Mar-a-Lago, yes. Mar-a-Lago is part Trump live. Because something wrong with them. Something definitely wrong with them. The Prime Minister, I don't know which school him used to go. I'm going to find out though. She ain't supposed to know all them things there, Yeah. I don't know which school the Prime Minister used to go, But obviously, him never did listen to the teacher them. Him never did take language where you can say, the meaning of words. Because I hear the Prime Minister make a statement, that me have to look upon him totally different. Yes. Me look upon the Prime Minister totally different after me hear what him say. And me know say, what him said to this woman the other day, him not go say it to an uptown person. Him not going to say it to an uptown person at all. Him can't go to a person uptown go say them something there. One of them little, where you call Jamaican white people or brown skinned people or whatsoever. Them not go say it. But it's obviously, it's either them to have no respect for certain people, or him just not in the vibes of thinking, him not think. You know, see it. And well, I don't know, but I want to play something for the people them here. So I played it last night. And I feel so I should have played it again because it is the most disturbing thing I hear a Prime Minister say up to now as it relates to the vaccine. I know them I try to get the people them to take the vaccine because enough of them thinking, them feel say it will help to alleviate the problems we are going now with the COVID vaccine and thing. But how much things you can say to poor people to frighten them? Because it's a fright business that go on, you know. Them I try to scare the people them. And the hungry people them I get scared is the poor people them. Because most of the uptown people them take them vaccine and done where them are doing and everything about nothing, you know. Alright. So I'm gonna play this thing here because this is so weird that the Prime Minister of Jamaica should have said this. And it was a 7 day too. Listen.
People are saying that the vaccines are unnatural. There's nothing unnatural. God created it.
You know hear what I said a while ago? Let me play it again.
People are saying that the vaccines are unnatural. There's nothing unnatural. God created it.
People are saying that the vaccines are unnatural. There's nothing unnatural. God created it. Make that soaking little to it we may talk about. The Prime Minister of Jamaica, the right most honorable Andrew Holness PC say that God create the vaccine. There's nothing unnatural about it. There's nothing, and people are saying that the vaccine is unnatural. Them really and truly know, Mr. Prime Minister. You call vaccine natural? You call Fensic natural? What is your version of natural and unnatural? That you could have looked on a woman. And the woman really tried to get him to come off and pump some pride. You know, she tried to beg him, say, as a man, the leader must come off and pump some pride and, you know, serve the Lord and, you know, the blood of Jesus. The regular thing where poor people always say, you know, the way they, because poor people say these things, the blood of Jesus and all them something there. The Prime Minister is telling Jamaican people that is God make the vaccine.
People are saying that the vaccines are unnatural. There's nothing unnatural. God created it.
There's nothing unnatural. God created. So all the computer we may have now is God created. The vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, the AstraZeneca vaccine, the J&J vaccine, the Nov vaccine, the Sputnik vaccine, all of the vaccine them. The Prime Minister is now saying there's nothing unnatural about the vaccine. It's God created. Or we must interpret that. The man them, the people them so desperate, Rasta. What is this desperation for even lie and talk things where you know, I don't know if him know that neither still, you know, because maybe him really see it as true that there's nothing unnatural about the vaccine. It is God created. Maybe him really believe it. That's why I'm saying if you go take a trip, go to Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump, go sit down for a week and spread out, you know, put on your shorts and take off the Clark's boots where you have on and just spread out. Forget Jamaica for a while. Because you not serve no purpose when you come out and make them statement there. But God make vaccine. God make which vaccine? You don't know where the vaccine come from. Me know where the vaccine come from. Most of Jamaican people know where the vaccine. And you tell Jamaican people say God make the vaccine. Man, step in.
Irie FM.
Yes. With the Pandis King, because it's very disturbing. I don't know how it outgrab people still, but for a person who I wonder what is it that is gripping the country that the Prime Minister can say these things. You know, so it's a very serious thing and it make people get skeptical. Yes, it make people get skeptical. The amount of things where they must say. It make you get skeptical. They might give you $10,000 to do this. You can't march. You can't walk. You know. You know, anybody know about the youth yesterday or the day before yesterday where them charge $200,000 for broke the protocol? Yes. The mother of ball, $200,000, 17-year-old youth get charged for broke the protocol. Meanwhile, a man who create a problem in a Negril, them go a court and them get $20,000. $20,000. That is what them charging. $20,000. And one of them compatriots, they are one party with a whole heap of them, the whole of them are GLP. Shower, because the whole of them are ball out, shower in the video. None of them no get charged. None of them no get charged. And people believe say that because Mr. Green resigned, it means he has served his time and he has paid the penalty. That is not it. Because if you can charge a little youth, a 17-year-old youth, $200,000, and you charge Beanie Man $120,000, who them a charge the most? When we really check it, when I really go down the line and see the people them who them charge the most, it's a certain kind of people get charged the most, you know. Yes, we have to examine it. It's a certain kind of people get charged the most. Beanie Man, $120,000. And I was told that it's not even because him did not keep nothing. He's advertise something. Him charge him $120,000. Me remember down at the road when them lock off the thing that them can't make nobody come out of the party. Everybody in there them want charge. So them lock the gate that no car can't come out. Now we see it all on video. The shower posse. Well, we don't call them shower posse, but the shower them a shower everybody with champion and them something there. Them no get charged. Them no get charged. And you saw here the one with name Green, which everybody has hold up the man both and a ray. I don't know him. I don't want to know him. But I know say, you saw here him gone up at the remand center up at Jamaica house and wait for him next assignment. Like how them have Royal Reed. Me I tell you say Jackass the world don't live, you know, Rasta. Imagine the man them Royal Reed is charged and is waiting. Jamaican people, who don't know say Royal Reed still get paid. And he has now asked for extension of his leave. Well, I tell you, where we live now? What kind of place is this? This what kind of place is Rasta? Eh? It's who them people are around the country. Who them? Royal Reed is on leave with pay. And he's now asking for extension of his leave until 2026. And you know how much millions of dollars he's supposed to collect. You know how much millions of dollars him collect since the period, since them say, just ease up. You know, in 2026, you know how much. That means no court case now come up. Sam, I tell you, him supposed to have the court case now come up, you know, because if him ask for extension of him leave, him not have to work now, you know. Them not fire him, you know. Him just sit down there collect him pay same way. Millions of dollars. And you have 5 more years for 2026. That means him have 5 years what a pay if you get. And the man they not get them not, you know, the hundreds of thousands of dollars for pay, you know. And millions of dollars them get paid. So can you imagine now? Who are pay him? Who are pay Royal Reed? Who is paying Royal Reed for the time spent on leave? And now they are going to, he's asking for an extension of his leave. Him know something where we don't know. And maybe we know it, but we don't want to face it. He might get leave. How much years that now? And him at 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 years. Almost 10 years, you know. What I leave, you know, with pay. Me never know people could do that. Me go ask Debbie if you leave, you know, Rasta. Me go ask Debbie if you leave with pay. I'll stay away for 10 years. So some can go so. Some can really go so. Everything is so like joke, you know. Everything is so like joke, you know. That's a man, they can leave. Him they can leave no one him ask, so it's extend him leave 5 years more. So it go run up in almost 10 years. And him a get paid. What him getting paid for? If you sit down in him yard and wait for a court to say if him guilty or not guilty. Eh? So what I'm telling the maid, where they help bank the money or allegedly bank the money and all them something where them did I use, put her name in her account and all them thing there. I have people that follow her go to the bank. And when she take out the money, them just take it from her same time. What a terrible thing. What a terrible thing. That's why I say no. You could have ban, and die, you know. Me, I forget some of that corruption. Me want some of that government corruption in me. That me can get something out of that without faltering on the job. Because these people, not easy. Look on the man who beat up the woman with the chair, the stool. Look how him beat her up. Which part him there now? Him sit down at the house same way. Him nothing. No charge, no nothing. Him can't get charged because the woman no put no charge on him. Him no put no man on the charge. So everything just got fine and dandy. Everything back to normal. We know, I'll know it in the news. I'll know it in the news. You like how much money like how them charge a little 17-year-old you $200,000. What kind of madness that? What kind of madness that? $200,000 a little 17-year-old you. Him not kill nobody. Him not kill nobody. Him not run him car and match up nobody place. Him never have no mass. Yes, sir. The PNP about the PNP them come like some little, I don't know, some whole rubber tire where they put down a Riverton city. So the PNP come now, you know. Because PNP are demonstrating against PNP. PNP is demonstrating against PNP at the headquarters. What the hell is happening in Jamaica? We have to find out.
Iria FM.
Yes, we're there with you. We're there with you. Okay, so we are listening to Fauci them name, right? The big man in this whole vaccination and epidemic thing. Fauci say, and this is not the report, this is what he say in an interview. Fauci say people who got the COVID and get better is much more immune to COVID than the vaccination. Can I say that again? Fauci, the head man, the big man, where everybody have whole heap of things to say about him. Him say that people who get the virus and get better have a greater immune system than a vaccine. But him still tell us you must take the vaccine. Him still tell you must take the vaccine. You understand? Him have a better immunity. That means the chances of you catching it is much less. Much less than the vaccine where you still have to catch it. It don't mean that you can't catch it, your immune system, you know, because after a while, your immune system broke down. Because you have, what them call it, long COVID now, where people have different things happen to them, and it is because of the COVID. But really and truly, the vaccine run out too, because according to the Israeli them, and when I speak no conspiracy, according to the Israeli them, and this has come through the woman who's the CDC person, where I do interview for CDC. According to her, she say the job where they might call booster, which is our next vaccination, is not a booster make it sound like it's not vaccination, it's vaccination. They must say in Israel, everybody have to get a booster because the vaccination, the time lapse is 6 to 8 months. They might tell you 6 to 8 months the time lapse is. So them now start another a booster vaccination drive, which the American them seem like them are if and but with it. Them are if and but with the vaccine. But we're going to tell you where the American them say and where the British say a little more. We have some the American embassy, we call them for interview, them not take the interview, but them send with information. But the one where is most terrible and appalling is the British one. I don't know how Jamaican people are going to manage now. When you hear about where England have to say towards people coming to America, people coming to England, and how it relates to the vaccination where you take. But as I said, the Israeli them I say that the vaccination have a time lapse, and they mention 6 to 8 months. So after that time, you might have to take. You see, this thing I look like it's going to become like a floating where you have to take the shot. You have to keep taking the shot. You know, people want to talk about this and talk about that and this and that, but it's not going to go done so. It's not going to go done so. This is something where the vaccination, just like the flu vaccination and all these vaccination, except the one that you get when you're a picnic. And even the yellow fever one when you get when you go to Africa, every 10 years, them say you have to go take it. Every 10 years, you take this yellow fever vaccination. Well, it look like the COVID vaccination are going to be like that, where you have to go take it every a period, I don't know how long, until them can develop a real vaccine. When them develop a real vaccine that can last a certain length of time, more than 6 to 8 months, you will realize that it's something where real, and we have to just face it, say, COVID are going to be there for a little while. You understand? COVID going to be here for a little while. So we want to hold fast and tell you, listen up, Hot Pick and Cash Pot Special Pot Draw. Up next. Yeah, that was the Hot Pick and Cash Pot Special Pot Draw. Congratulations to all of today's winners. Join us again at 5 p.m. for another chance to win in top draw dollars. Pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, Hot Pick and Cash Pot draws. Yes, somebody does tell me, say, the Prime Minister used to go to St. Catherine School, St. Catherine High School, and the University of the West Indies. I wonder is over the hospital part in the day. Yes, because really and truly need to go over there now. Because some statement that make your way terrible. So we have an interview come up here about something else where it's bothering. I mean, up here botheration I go ahead, you know. Everybody, I wouldn't sing that tune there. Botheration, oh botheration. Up here botheration I go on amongst the people them. We have an interview here. We're going to wait for the interview there. We're going to wait for the interview. Meanwhile, we want to tell you that the hour between 3 and 4 is brought to you by Digicel. Switch to Jamaica's fastest network. Digicel, better together. Meanwhile, we're waiting for this interview here. We want to play this tune here. Here we go. Okay. All right, hold on the cocoa tea. All right, so we have online here O'Neill Grant. president of the Jamaica Civil Servant Association. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mutabaruka. And let me just correct that it's Civil Service Association.
Oh, Civil Service.
Yes.
Oh, all right, Civil Service.
Yes, man.
Yeah, true. All right. We want to talk to you about recent developments where apparently the civil service people, the civil servants, is not being treated properly. We see that amongst the teachers and nurses, and recently the firefighters, where two of them get killed in an accident in a St. Anne. We don't take it lightly.
No,
what is it? Eh?
Not at all. Not at all.
All right. What is it that is happening that is disturbing? Because we hear that after some of the nurses them done work, they have to stand up a bus stop and wait for a bus.
And it's not just nurses. It is it's affecting those persons who we call our frontline workers, particularly those who don't drive. That we don't have enough transportation to take them from where they work to where they live, especially during the curfew hours. Some of them have been told that if they do take a specialized transport like a taxi, that they can claim the taxi allowance, but you can appreciate that they too have been constrained by the movements that they can make when there's a curfew. If they don't have something that authorizes them to be on the road, they can in fact be in trouble. And so when the workers leave work, they are having difficulties getting home because transportation is just not readily available.
And that go for teachers them too?
Well, because school was out, it wasn't a problem, and the fact too, and I can't really specifically speak to the teachers, but to just logically apply certain things. School is out and it's still online, so they wouldn't necessarily be affected in the way that the persons who have to physically leave their homes to go out into the field and to work late at night past the curfew hours would be impacted.
So what? All right, the association making a recommendation to the government to alleviate a problem there.
But we have had some consultations with them in relation to and individual departments as well in relation to how the workers can be accommodated. Some institutions have buses that are assigned that the persons will be transported in the evenings after their shifts. Some organizations have adjusted the shifts to ensure that the workers can work and come to work and leave at a time that the shifts will not be impacted by the curfew. And we also have situations where the employer would have designated taxis that they would authorize to transport the workers home at the workers' expense, of course. But they authorize these taxis that the workers can use, that they get the clearance at the curfew checkpoint so that they can pass through them. So there have been, if I said that there hasn't been any movement to fix it, I would not be telling the truth. There have been movements to fix it, but the challenge is that the resources are not enough. And end up in a situation like what we saw happen with the firefighters in St. Anne.
Yeah, all right. You can tell the people then what actually caused the demise of the firefighters then?
Well, the information I have is that they did not have a transport to go home. A colleague would have offered to take them home, and whilst they were on their way, they met in an accident and passed on. It could have happened at any point in time, but the circumstances around it did make it tragic that it was indeed an attempt to help and assist that would have caused the firefighters to lose their lives.
Wow. And well, I mean, I tell you. All right. As the president of the association now,
yes.
All right. You say if you'll be telling a lie if nothing now really happened, but
right.
You have any idea how much percentage of the nurses and the firefighters them in a problem if you get home, or is more than half of them can get home, so it's not a problem.
No, we would not have done a study. We wouldn't have done a study of the situation to say how much is being affected. What we have are general evidence that speak to it. We have different groups, like for instance our community health aid workers who are part of the front line. We have the public health inspectors and the public health nurses who are also part of the front line. And what we generally know is that the complaints you have received is that some of them don't drive and they do have difficulty even getting to work based on the shifts that they are placed on and the fact that there is no dedicated transport. Sometimes they live off the beat path. They don't live near a main road or anything, and they have to find transportation from their house to where the bus can collect them when the buses are dispatched. And then there are some other rules that come into play, which have to do with how, when these workers are traveling using their own means, how are they compensated? There are some rules that say that if you are using your motor vehicle as a traveling officer, you get mileage, but if you're not a traveling officer and you're working on a shift outside of a particular period of time, it usually becomes a challenge when they are claiming back the expense of transporting themselves, and they are being oftentimes denied the claim.
So if them deny the claim, the association will chip in and come in and say, no, this can't work that way and thing. Because you're supposed to fight for them. So so who take responsibility now for go to whosoever and deny them?
So when the members make the claim and it is denied, they come to the association and we make representation on their behalf. Sometimes it requires a little bit of discussing and dialogue. They will tell us that they didn't get enough to cover, and so it's a matter of timing, or in some instances they will tell us that, for instance, that the claim that was submitted should not have been submitted for the time that the workers were out, because a bus was provided and the workers refused to take the bus, and so they are only paying for those persons.
Why the workers refuse to take the bus? Why the workers refuse to take the bus?
It's for various reasons. I know of a particular case where the workers were saying that how the ministry or the department chose to do it was that they were forcing the people to take the bus, and said that if they don't take the bus, that they are not going to pay them. The workers would have gone to take the bus, and when they reach the bus full, so they can't get on it. And so they are now saying that, well, I have to go back home and drive my car to work because the bus full. And when they drive the car to work, they are saying that they shouldn't have just driven without calling first, and all kind of reasons are given why they don't want to pay them. In those instances, you would have reasoned on behalf of the employee to tell the employer that, listen, you're being unreasonable. The fact is that the bus was full and the worker turned up to go on the bus and there was no space, and they went back home for the car and drove to work, so you better pay them.
But Mr. Grant, you're talking, it sounds like you're not really assertive. Like the assertiveness we should have there for help the people, the nurse them. It's like one, you see the problem with them, but them who are paid them come tell you something and you go back to them and tell them, so well, this them saying so we can't do nothing about it.
No, man, we don't do that. Part of the communication,
I just listen to you how you sound.
Yeah, man. The communication is that we will tell the workers what they are told, because we try to keep them in the loop so they understand how the conversation is going. But one of the things that we try not to do, while we stand in solidarity with the nurses and the teachers and the doctors and the police, we try not to behave as if we are speaking on their behalf, because they have an association that represents them. And we don't want to make it appear as if we are stepping into it. And as it might sound, we don't want to appear as if we are the mouthpiece for them. We want to say that we join with the nurses, we join with the teachers, we join with the police and so on, to speak with one voice in solidarity about the matters that are impacting workers generally. But we really do allow those member associations to speak on behalf of their members, and then we come out and stand in solidarity with them at the appropriate time.
All right. Look a while I say Jamaica Civil Servant Association. You correct me and say civil service.
Yes.
So what is the purpose of the Jamaica Civil Service Association? What them did it for?
All right. So we are a trade union recognized in Jamaica's constitution as being the one that represents public sector workers. We are here to lobby for workers' rights generally, but specifically all the legitimate interests and concerns of members of the association. We are here to represent them. We do general negotiations for salaries and fringe benefits and working conditions, matters to do with the staff orders and the regulations that govern how we work and how we are disciplined and appointed and promoted and so on. And in specific cases, if a member a person is a member of the association, when they have specific challenges, the union has an IR department that deals with it, of a member services department, that if they have particular challenges personally, they can come to us and we act as their intercessor to go and speak to whoever we have to speak to, or to make lobby on their behalf for things to be worked out for them.
The transportation thing is not a challenge. It's not a challenge.
No, it is a challenge, if I didn't say, it is a challenge. What I indicated was that there are things being done, but it is not enough.
Yeah.
Let me give you another case in point. We have been negotiating with the government for a few years now. As a matter of fact, we actually closed those negotiations for persons, public sector workers generally, to be able to ride at a discounted price on the JUTC buses. And we got last year, the Ministry of Health allowed certain healthcare workers to ride on the JUTC buses without paying, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness would have covered the cost of them coming to and from work in the height of the pandemic. But that was stopped, and it is now, the workers are now saying it is posing a difficulty because some of the times that they have to come on the road, the transportation system is not as it is in terms of the cost, and they are not getting the pay that they need to afford the transportation, and it is a real difficulty for them without the discount, and they are asking us to go back to the table and get that done. We are, in fact, in discussion with the Ministry of Finance where that is concerned, to ensure that we can get that discount across the board for workers, so that when they are coming to work to serve the public, that they can do so at a cost that they can afford, given the fact that we are a low-paid, low-wage sector. We want to ensure that we can rely on the state to provide those facilities that will cut our cost of meeting the public service expectations that our public have.
Well, brethren, I hope that something more can be done, even though I say things is done, but obviously the reason why it come to our attention is because it never looked like a whole heap is being done, because, especially when the firefighter them have to find out a different way to go home and then end up dead, we are saying it's not sound like things really are reached a point where we are saying.
And it's not just us, because, for instance, you look at the police, when they had the same problem, and the Ministry of National Security bought 2 buses exclusively to transport police officers because of the shifts that they work on. So it's a problem that we have across the service. But not every police can ride on the police buses. We have some buses that they call the Government Employees Transport Service. Not everybody can ride on those because the seats are limited. We have about 400, nearly 500 seats, but we have nearly 4,000 people were being able to get a seat on the bus. so that is why I tell you, it is there, but it is not enough. And what we're trying to do now is to push to see how we can get it improved. So the government promised to give us 5 more buses in the next fiscal year to transport government workers.
But if the promises are comfort. Promises are comfort.
No, what happened? The minister did promise us 4 the last time, and we got 3.
Yeah.
So we are hoping that.
So where the other one there? Where the other one there?
They said based on the cost, they couldn't go to all 4, so they were able to buy 3. We said, all right, we take what we can get until we can get.
But you can't. No, man, take what you can get.
And they will always.
But they will always give you things where you don't want and take what you can get.
No, man, not in that regard, man. I mean,
but then if you ask them for and they give you 3.
They will push no for the rest.
No, in your mind, if you ask before you get 3, that means you're all right.
No, man, we're not all right. If we did all right, we wouldn't ask for anymore. We wouldn't ask for the next fight.
Yeah, and then you're going to get 3 again, and you're going to get the next 3 again.
I would take that and ask for 5 more.
Yeah, but it still not solve the problem after almost 1,000 people. You say,
no, it won't solve the problem, but at least put a dent in it. All right, sir, give thanks. Here, sir, give thanks. Yeah, man, appreciate it.
Yeah, that was the president of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, O'Neill Grant. We were talking about, in light of even the firefighter, them will get killed in a Santander. It affects a whole heap of people, and teachers, nurses, police, everybody. In our problem, them can't go home when they need to go home, and them can't come back at work when they need to come back at work because the pressure.
Irie FM.
Yeah, we're there with you. We say there's them refuting the argument about a 17-year-old get charged $200,000. Yeah, they refute it. The Jamaica judiciary. and refute that charge. So we're going to follow it up and hear what is the crux of the matter.